evening, Prince Charles has heaped praise on forces families during his first ever visit to British soldiers in Afghanistan. He said he worried the whole time that Prince Harry was serving on Operation Herrick. His Royal Highness has been meeting troops at a patrol base and at Camp Bastion, as well as seeing Afghan soldiers who are being mentored in Helmand. Our reporter Kaya Lark joined him on his tour. Kaya, what's he been doing?
Well, Kate, the Prince spent a whistle-stop but rather busy couple of days here in Afghanistan, and he becomes the most senior royal ever to stay in the country. He spent time visiting British troops both in Kabul and across Helmand. The Prince has a long-standing interest in Islam, and he spent time meeting and chatting with tribal elders in the capital, but he was also interested in finding out just how the Afghan soldiers are being mentored by British troops. Learning how to search for IEDs, Prince Charles is shown how to use one of the Army's newest metal detectors to search for roadside bombs in Afghanistan. This is a training area where Afghan soldiers are being mentored by British troops to try and find and make safe the biggest threat to them on the ground here. And he was interested to find out more about how the partnership between the two nations is working.
Have an interesting time when you first got here.
We were down inside the Badger. Quite crazy there compared to here.
He'd already been out to a patrol base in Nadi Ali where troops have been based since Operation Moshtarak, and he'd met with tribal leaders around Kabul.
I think in terms of the morale of the troops, to see His Royal Highness here for the first time ever come and visit them while they're doing the operations that they do right forward into the forward operating bases, I think will have a fantastic effect on their morale. To feel that level of appreciation will be absolutely brilliant.
At Camp Bastion, he spent almost an hour meeting and chatting to some of the pilots and crews who fly daring missions over Helmand. Well, this is the Prince's first ever visit to Afghanistan. He's currently meeting soldiers from the Army Air Corps, just one of the units currently in theatre for whom he is their Colonel-in-Chief.
He was asking how we're getting on. Obviously he's our Colonel-in-Chief, so he's just keen that the soldiers are well looked after, and what kind of a job we're doing, what role we perform out here, and how we're enjoying ourselves out here or otherwise.
Just asking us about what life was like out here, asking us about the accommodation, asking how many Apaches we had, what supplies were like out here, where we kept them, just general chit-chat really.
Then the Prince had asked for a moment of reflection at the memorial to the fallen on Camp Bastion.
We gather here today to remember all those who gave their lives in the fight against terrorism here in the Helmand province. We give thanks to God for their...
He laid a wreath and took a moment to remember all those who'll never go home. And he said being here made him think of all the families of personnel currently serving in Afghanistan.
But I know when my youngest son was out here, as a parent, you worry the whole time. I think if you're out here, perhaps you're getting on with everything, it's not the same. But for everybody left behind, it's ghastly. We're very lucky indeed to have so many families. I know because I meet them. For instance, who have 2 or 3 sons in the armed forces of one kind or another. Incredible, and go on for several generations. I don't know, it makes me incredibly proud.
Today's visit renews the bond between the military family and the heir to the throne, who knows all too well what it's like to have a son serving on the front line.